Oh, hey, what's up, guys? This is a quick video oriented towards how to open up CGC cases carefully. Now, I know there are a lot of videos out there on YouTube about this. I figured, you know what, I'm going to do this for the Avengers #3 comic, and you're going to see how delicately I do it, especially since this comic book is, it's pretty old, and it's the real deal. But don't worry, it's a 2.0, it's pretty low grade, and I said, screw it, I want to read it. So first thing to do, guys, get a flathead screwdriver here, so you can actually stick it in between the actual plates. Now, when this is sealed, guys, you need to inspect it first, because sometimes, depending on what side of the case, it leaves a little gap, wide enough to stick a flathead screwdriver in there. And all you're doing is, like I said, you're sticking it in the actual the opening, and you're twisting to open it more. And then you do it all the way around. You go basically all the way around the case. Just careful, slowly, slowly, slowly. Okay, so let me do that right now. Be right back. Okay, and as you can see here, the top layer of the case just popped right open. And while you're actually doing that, guys, when you're actually taking your tool and you're basically twisting, you're popping it open, you can see the actual plastic start to chip and break and kind of just detach from itself. And that's what you want. You don't want to apply too much pressure, because you don't want the glass to literally split open, and it may damage the comic inside. But at least you're doing it slowly, one notch at a time, and then go all the way around like I mentioned. Now once that's off, guys, you have somewhat another layer, kind of a thin plastic layer. And be careful when you take it out, because the comic book is actually sealed inside this thin plastic layer. And what I mean sealed like heat sealed. Okay, you can kind of consider this as maybe a thick Mylar type bag, but sealed completely all the way around on 4 edges, or at least the 4 corners. Okay, what I normally do, or what I'll do in this instance, this paper right here, this Universal Grade 2.0, I'm going to keep it. Okay, only because this could be a really good asset later on. Let's say if I want to get this CGC'd again, send them this label with the comic, and they'll verify. They have like, oh, okay, it was a 2.0 before. Let's check it, make sure, they'll either grade it a 2.0 or even lower. You do have the risk, guys, of getting a lower grade if you crack open your CGC. But being that this is already a lower grade, I don't really care. I paid literally like $60 some for this comic, so it doesn't bother me. So let me take this out. And what you're going to do, guys, in this instance, you're going to take possibly like maybe a scalpel or a sharp knife, a small knife, and you're going to trim. You're going to find an edge where literally it gives you enough room to squeeze a knife through, and just carefully, just I would say maybe 1/4 of an inch at a time, just so it opens up. Okay, so I'll be right back. Let me show you. I have to admit, guys, I got a little nervous. I have a small little knife here, which I'm using to actually rip open the top portion. And this plastic, man, it's pretty thick. I have to say it's pretty thick, and I got a little nervous. I mean, I did get a nice clean cut here on top where there's plenty of room. I was able to remove my CGC paper, but I said, you know what, I'm going to bring out the heavy tool here. I'm going to bring out the medical shears. Apparently this can cut through a penny. So this plastic should be no problem. So again, just be really, really careful that I don't cut too fast or too deep, because the plastic could end up bending and going inside to the comic and causing damage. So I'm doing this careful, basically probably 1 inch or 2 inches by 2 inches. Cut that off. And again, some of you are like, dude, just do it. It's a 2.0. Yeah, I know it's not a really high grade, but still, it's still artwork to me. I don't want to damage any type of artwork. Okay, so I'll be right back, guys. Let me finish cutting this. Okay guys, as you can tell, I cut open and I'm actually sliding out the comic right now from the top, but I'm a little nervous. The reason is because this plastic seems to be more, it's a little thicker than I've actually dealt with before. I don't know if because this is an older plastic or a newer plastic, but I'm slowly taking out the comic book from the opening that I cut open just a few seconds ago. And I got to be really careful with the staples, and then plus right here on the corners that it doesn't snag. But there's enough room, guys. I know some of you are like, well, don't do it that way, dumbass. You know what? I know. But again, guys, there's enough room. I'm comfortable to know that there's enough room to be careful. And I'm sliding this out ever so carefully. And nice and slow. That's what she said. And there we go, guys. It's out. Okay. Now, the reason for this video, guys, again, it's a cool reference video that you can go back to and see how to open up CGC. And yes, you can even send these videos back to you can even send these comic books back to CGC, you know, with this graded. And plus, this is a good video to reference because sometimes when you go to comic book conventions, I know I was talking to, I believe it was Dak and Howlett, not too long ago, where I was mentioning, hey, if you do have a CGC graded comic and you take it to get Stan Lee autographed at your convention, the place that actually you go to, the third party, they won't open up. They won't basically open up your CGC cases. You have to do it yourself. You have to open up the comic, save this piece of paper, and then have Stan Lee sign it, autograph, then give this to the CGC, the third-party company, so we can get graded again. Okay, so this is the paper I was talking about, and again, you do have the risk of getting a lower grade because it all depends on, you know, hey, maybe you took it out too, you know, maybe you took it out too rough out of the plastic, maybe you cut too deeply, you damaged the comic. Who knows? But I'm just saying, a fair warning. Just be careful, guys. And again, what I heard from Dak and Howlett is the third-party company, they charge now. They charge to take it out. And you know what? I feel better doing it myself this way, because if they do, you know, say, oh yeah, we'll do it for $50, but you got to sign this waiver because if we damage your comic book, it's not our fault. You know what? Screw you guys. I'd rather do it myself, nice and careful, and make sure it's done right. So this is what I did. As you can tell, there's the finished work. So if any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. I know I kind of did it rough compared to some of you guys, but hey, the comic book came out perfect. I didn't damage it at all. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks guys for watching. Peace.